our show for this week is BACCANO. And before we start talking about the show, I want to give you a little anecdote. Last week, or 2 weeks ago, after we finished Fooly Cooly, and I took a walk and tried to gather my thoughts and came back realizing I just didn't have any, I said to Nina, I don't want to do anything obtuse for a while. I want to just watch something straightforward. And now we're doing BACCANO. So, good job us, me. But the obtuseness of this show is very different from that of Fooly Cooly. Whereas Fooly Cooly's obtuseness came from its presentation and the way it delivered its themes, this one has more to do with the way the plot is structured, in that it's a Tarantino film. Well, I mean, it's a series, but it's structured like a Tarantino film. All the elements are told out of order. Probably some kind of name for this, but the idea that a story doesn't necessarily need to be told chronologically when you're trying to tell a story the most interesting way possible. Telling a story chronologically is what occurs to us most immediately because that's how we think of stories. That's how we think of events, is chronologically. Because we see time linearly. Whereas there's this other idea that you can tell this different parts of a story in any order you want in order to so that the picture of what the story really is about unfolds in a more interesting way. And also, like Tarantino, this show really romanticizes organized crime and just features a sadistic amount of violence.
It's all good fun, though. Nice, fun, harmless violence.
Well,
sometimes it's literally harmless.
So let's get talking about what the show itself is. Nina, you got like a history?
Okay, so the show is based on a series of light novels. Light novels, for if you don't know, are Japanese novels they're not like fine art novels. They're more like poppy, kind of fun novels.
I mean, I guess in Western publishing, you just refer to them like as paperbacks.
Yeah, I guess they're just like fun paperbacks. They're usually aimed at like younger people, particularly like the otaku anime audience. A lot of light novels are adapted into manga or anime. But anyway, it's written by a guy named Go Narita, and it's a really long series of light novels. I think there's like 20 or like a lot. 21.
Still ongoing.
Yes, it's a very long story that keeps going and going. The anime only covers, I think, like the first 2 books. It covers obviously the Rolling Bootlegs, which is the first book, and then the official name of it? I don't know, the one with the train. It has a different name in the books, because all the light novels are adapted from songs of bands, or no, band names, like the Rolling Bootlegs is the Rolling Stones, and the Grand Punk Railroad is what it's called.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. That's like the opposite Pac-Man Puckman thing that they did.
Yeah.
I don't want to explain that joke. It'll take too long. It's not germane.
And also a little bit of Drug and the Dominoes, I think. But there's a lot of these fucking books. So the anime
Drug
doesn't
and
cover
the
all of it.
Dominoes?
Drug and the Dominoes.
Now, are the books in the same narrative format as the anime, namely the same non-linear format?
Kind of.
Okay.
Because it sort of goes back and forth in a way, because he did a book, the 5th book was set in 2001, but then the 6th book went back to 1933 and covered some stuff that we didn't see. So, yeah, he kind of goes back and forth. In each book, he sort of has it narrated from the perspective of one character, so he will, like, write the same story twice, but because you're having it seen from a different character, you get a different view. Like, books 2 and 3 are both the Grand Punk Railroad, but they're from different perspectives.
Just give me everything from Jacuzzi's perspective, we're good to go.
One more thing. Have they ever been released in English?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
But there are some
So don't bother.
There are fan translations out there if you're really interested, of most of the books, not all of them.
I'm gonna assume your mileage may vary.
Yeah. Narita was inspired by the movie The Untouchables to write this series. He was really interested in the Prohibition era, which I guess is kind of odd for a Japanese dude, and was just really wanted to write in this time period.
I mean, I'm sure gangster flicks had like an international appeal.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, if Japan can like baseball, who knows what other shit they like from us.
And the really neat thing about this show is that they do a lot of research. Like, a lot of the locations, like Grand Central Terminal, is really accurate, and the Hollywood sign is Hollywood Land, as it was at that time period. Like, they did a good job. Like, I pat them on the back for, doing the research and having fun with it. And the opening sequence, the really famous, like, opening animation, is a sort of a reinterpretation, remake inspired by the opening sequence from the film Snatch, the 2000 crime comedy film directed by Guy Ritchie. Like, if you actually watch that opening sequence, you're like, this is the same thing. Like, they really just took the entire idea from this movie, which, is fine. BACCANO is inspired by these kinds of films in the first place anyway. So yeah, that's mostly what I got for background. It's ongoing, but you don't need to read all the things in the world.
You know what's something that really bothered me about the opening, and it's just this one thing, but the theme song is called Guns N' Roses, but it's Guns possessive GUN apostrophe S and Roses, and under no circumstance is that grammatically correct.
Speaking of spelling and things, what bothered me about the opening was when I'm blanking on their freaking names, and it says them in the beginning of every episode.
Isaac and Miria, are you talking about the candy?
Yeah, I can't wait to go to my local convenience store and buy some Nestle orange. They literally just took the trademarked logos and turned all the round letters into O's. Like, they didn't even come up with anything clever.
So as you probably surmised from Tooch's confusion, this show has a lot of characters. Like, a lot. But that's sort of part of the whole story.
More than are in the opening. Like, when people not in the opening started appearing more than once, I went, oh, holy fuck.
Who the fuck is this? Who the hell? Like, for like a couple of characters, it's a spoiler thing, but like, there was that guy in the beginning from the Runarada family who's like, who's this guy? Is this the Burga guy? Is he the other, like, is he that big guy from the... No, different guy. Different big guy.
Yeah. The word baccano, it is an Italian word that essentially means, like, racket or ruckus, though the author's preferred translation is stupid commotion.
Perfect.
Which is
That's
very
exactly
apt.
what this is.
It takes place in the Prohibition era, lots of gangsters, millions of characters, and shifting their perspectives constantly on these various events that are happening. It's really the plot. It's really it's a ride in a sense, because your first time viewing, you're going to be really confused, which is natural because it's all out of order. Even a single episode will be told out of order. And we're dealing with 3 different times, 3 different separate little stories.
3 different primary ones, but there's also stuff that diverts from those 3. But yeah, there's...
It was hard for me to keep track of even how many different storylines there were, because I was also trying to figure out, like, who was interconnected, or who used to be interconnected and they're not anymore and they're doing their own things, or how many are acting like they're doing their own things, but actually
getting all this on one watch through involves a Beautiful Mind Styles.
I am absolutely watching this again.
Yeah, and you know what? It's really fun to watch again because not only do you understand it more, but you know when to expect the really great moments, and now that you have the whole context of the big picture, you can appreciate those moments even more.
Yeah, I basically know what happened, but like all the fine details, and I feel like I missed some shit.
You're gonna catch a ton.
Yeah, I had to take a lot of stuff at face value, like, oh, I guess that happened, and I wasn't paying attention. Okay.
Yeah, like this, I don't know if I mentioned this at the top. I have seen this before, or at least the first 13 out of 16 episodes. The 14th, 15th, and 16th episodes form something of an epilogue. It's a couple of loose ends tied up, and like a new plot shows up. It's sort of weird. It's a little out of place, but it works fine enough.
Yeah, those were DVD exclusive.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, what? There was more than 16 episodes?
No,
No, the final 3 were direct-to-DVD exclusive episodes.
Oh, okay. Good.
everything with what was that guy's name? Ratchet?
Graham
Graham
Spector.
Graham Spector. He's basically a Guilty Gear character.
He has pretty hair.
And the budget on the last 3 seemed a bit lower.
Yeah.
Which makes
the
sense.
budget on this wasn't super high.
It wasn't, but it seemed lower then.
So because this show sports an amazing cast of characters, when it came down time to do the English dub, it was quite an ordeal for Funimation. Apparently, according to Tyler Walker, the ADR director, they held auditions for 6 days, during which about 140 people came for the 18 main roles. Walker states that this was probably the longest casting process Funimation has ever had. And it was hard to find a lot of these voices, but he wanted to find a lot of newcomers. He wanted to find people to have a chance to prove their talent. And a lot of people who show up in this show, this is sort of their first major role. And he wanted to find people who could provide dialects and accents, considering the show takes place in the 30s in New York City. People from New York, people from Chicago, people from various places in Europe, like just all over the place. And this dub is really phenomenal because of that. You have so many amazing people giving so many fun voices, and adds such a wonderful texture to the whole thing that the sub really doesn't have. I mean, having a bunch of Japanese people pretend to be American gangsters is cool, but not the same.
Yeah, the dub is the canonical version.
I loved this dub.
It's one of the best, by far. Very, very, very good work all around. And we suggest you watch it in that version because, you're in America. You're in the 1930s gangster America town. You want all these fun voices and people. Like, it just makes it more fun, I think. Even if all the accents aren't, like, totally on the nose realistic, it doesn't matter. Like, there's a million other characters.
You know what's not realistic? Every like gangster film that this series is based off of, probably.
Totally.
Like, so this is a made up Prohibition era. This is pop culture, old timey movie Prohibition era that probably didn't really exist.
No, it's all super romanticized.
Yeah, and everybody's kind of a bad person in one way or another, whether they're a thief or a gangster or a sociopath. But most people, or at least most of the main characters, except for a few, even like some of the really scary ones, are just really likable and kind of good people in a way. Not Lad.
Not Lad.
Yeah, I was about to say
Lad's fucking despicable.
Lad is the worst, but even like...
I love Lad, though.
He's
a
so
likable
flawed.
character. He's likable as a character, but he's not the slightest bit sympathetic.
No.
Yeah, oh no.
But even like another character who's particularly murderous in this show has some redeeming qualities. So it is a very romanticized version where everybody's just kind of like a big, happy, illegal family.
See, I'm not sure who you're talking about because there are so many fucking murderers in this show.
Particularly murder. Who murders, second to Lad, who murders more people?
I'm gonna say, he has like 3 different names.
Exactly,
Okay.
that guy. I don't want to talk about him yet because he's kind of a big spoiler.
Yeah.
I mean, like...
He's not in the opening. No,
Exactly.
he is, but he doesn't have a name.
He is, but he doesn't have
He doesn't have a name thing. You show up.
I didn't even notice that.
It's a sneaky.
It's a sneakret.
It's a sneakret.
Alternately,
New word.
Alternately, a discreetret. No, that one's from Homestar. Sneakret's me.
So the show is 16 episodes. It's self-contained completely, even though there are some open ends there. But, that's sort of part of the whole...
I mean, the last episode is literally open ends. Fucking deal with it, asshole.
Yeah.
We can't get rid of these open ends. Come on down to BACCANO's Open Ending Story Emporium. Our prices are insane.
Go read all 20 of those books.
Yeah,
You wanna
I was
know the
expecting.
answer.
I was half expecting like a little advertisement for the light novel series at the end. Like,
But I'm saying this as opposed to the other, the companion sibling series, Durara, which is also based on light novels by the same author, that show is only now getting a continuation, whereas this show was always like, this is it. This is what it's going to be. This is what we're going to do. We're not going to go any farther than this.
You don't get a movie, you don't get an OVA, you should be happy with what you got, asshole.
They'll probably do something eventually, and it'll probably not be as good.
Yeah, maybe.
That's usually what happens.
I mean, they might. How are they going to get all 140 of those people back to do all the voices?
They won't, and it'll be terrible.
Exactly.
So just get me and Tooch to do it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Let's talk a little bit about what this is about. Like we said, there are 3 main events, or at least time periods, time frames. We've got a train heist, we've got the stuff that happens before the train heist, and we've got the stuff that happens after the train heist. Think Reservoir Dogs, but we actually get to see the diamond robbery.
Yeah.
I never saw that movie.
It's a good movie. You should watch it.
Stevie Boosh is in it.
Okay.
He's a fucking professional.
He's extremely likable. He's the pug of people. He's ugly as hell, but you love him for it.
But chronologically, the story starts 1930 is the stuff before the train robbery. That's the stuff with the rolling... Well, I already forgot what it was called. The first book. And then 1931 is the Flying Pussyfoot, which is the name of the train.
It's pretty funny to hear serious voiced men talking about the incident that happened upon the Flying Pussyfoot.
And then there's a bit in 1932 and a bit in 1933. So you have to keep track of all those years.
And I don't. I failed spectacularly at keeping track of them. They tell you the year at the beginning of every scene, and 30 seconds into each scene...
Every time you change scene, you know what year it is. It'll help you make your beautiful line chalkboard string
30 seconds
diorama.
Into every scene, I went, oh, fuck, I forgot already what year this is. And I usually was never able to piece it together.
Well, Isaac and Miria is the best way to keep things together, I think.
They're I believe the only ones involved in all 3.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thankfully so. Because things get pretty dire, and sometimes you just need 2 stupid, lovable oafs to...
You just need Jesse and James there to look at the camera and tell some jokes.
Oh, I love those guys.
I was going to say they're basically Jesse and James, but they do affect the plot. I'm talking about the Pokemon movies, where Jesse and James, I think, are like... I think it's like a meta-narrative thing where, like, they're the audience having a fever dream.
Oh, yeah, no. Like,
they're not... those guys are not really in those movies.
They specifically say, like, hey, we found... Like, I believe it was, like, Pokemon the movie 2000 or something. There was, like, hey, we actually got to do something. Or, like, they just riff all the time. And something tells me they don't do that in the original Japanese. I really think that was just for kids. Back when they dubbed them.
No way. I will bet everything that that's not true in the Japanese.
Okay, why do you think they're there, though?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's still comedic, but the jokes are different.
Well, yeah.
Because also 90% of their jokes, even in English, are puns, and since that doesn't really translate, 4Kids had to make up their own, so it was probably way worse.
So let's see if we can section off these characters into groups.
Let's see. Let's
there's
try.
The Kimura family.
Okay, who are the Kimuras? Because like I was gonna go through all the crime families because in New York we've got the Martillos.
They're the Martillo family. They're a Kimura family as opposed to a mafia family. Kimura is a slightly different kind of organized Italian crime syndicate.
I thought that was the name of the family.
No.
Okay.
They are a Kimura family. The Martillos.
Okay, so we got in New York we've got the Martillos, the Gandors. Those 2 are allied, and the Runaratas, who are a rival gang. In Chicago we've got the Russo's gang, the Russo family, and then Jacuzzi and Niece's bootlegging gang, which are much smaller.
They're a little small-time little gang.
They're my favorite.
They're so cute.
They're very endearing.
And then there's also the Genoad family.
The Genoad family, who are not a crime family, but are a super rich family with ties.
No, they are a crime family.
They are a crime family? Fuck.
Kind of, yeah. Eve never knew her family did.
I figured they were a rich family with ties to organized crime, but they weren't like like a crime family the same way the Gandors or the Runeradas were.
Yeah, I guess not the same way, but they got their money from
all their money's dirty.
Method. Dirty money.
I think those are all the crime families.
Yes, I think.
Then we've got, the robbing duo of Isaac and Miria going across the country committing stupid robberies that they keep getting away with because the robberies are just too stupid.
The police just gave up. Like, we don't even care.
Like there's that scene in the police station is like, is this a real thing?
Yeah. And, like, all the people think that they're just actors.
Yeah.
Then there's the
cult following Huey LaForêt.
Yeah, the lemurs.
Those are the black suits on the train.
Yeah.
The white suits are not friends of Lad Russo, not really employees of the Russo family, because the Russo family doesn't even want Lad Russo in there because he's a fucking sociopath.
Yeah.
We've got
the Rail Tracer.
The Rail Tracer. We've got Zillard Quates,
and Ennis, his homunculus assistant.
I think
that's mostly everybody.
And Cheslov.
Oh. Cheslov, and also the Daily Days.
The Daily Days, that's a huge thing. Okay.
Yeah, the Daily they're an information...
And none of them show up in the
people.
Opening.
No.
And neither do any of the Runeradas, because they're comparatively pretty minor.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about them. But yeah, I think that's all the people that you need to know about. We did it. We did it, you guys.
Okay, so let's talk about each of these three eras and what's going on in them.
Okay.
Chronologically, the first one is Firo Prochanezo being inducted as... I'm not going to say I don't know if he's a capo. He's inducted into the inner circle of the Martillo family.
Yeah.
And that's also the conclusion of everything with Zillard, which is a big thing. So that's here's the thing.
Well, also there was a thing that happened back in 1711.
We'll get to that.
I feel like someone's about to just start doing the very opening bit of the episode, like, where does a story begin? Jesus!
I was gonna say,
first episode is so terrible to watch the first time.
Yeah, and like if you don't watch the bonus DVD episodes, that frame story never closes.
Yeah. You might want to skip that one your first time around if you really get put off by confusing things.
No, you know what? Don't. We had to. Fuck you.
No. You need to, because it does. Once they start showing, the actual characters start showing up. Like, it starts like the stuff with our actual characters starts with the Isaac and Miria post train. That's important.
Right.
Yeah.
So you can't skip it. Sorry. My deepest condolences.
Well, you can go back to it after you've watched everything. And then watch the three.
I just really hate the whole, like, you can skip this part mentality. It's like, no, it's a thing, watch the thing.
Okay, I was just trying to make it easy, but...
Life's hard, Nina.
Okay.
But what I was trying to say is that an advantage of this nonlinear plot presentation is it allows you to have three separate climaxes that are happening 3 years apart all come to a head simultaneously in the work.
It's pretty great.
So we've got the climax with Zillard, we've got the climax on top of the train, and we've got the climax with Dallas Genoward, all happening, you're jumping between those three in the same episode, the same couple of episodes. But so this first section, 1930, is it?
Yeah.
1930.
The Rolling Bootlegs arc.
Yeah.
I guess we'll call it.
So, yeah, that's before the train. It's Firo getting inducted higher up into his crime organization, and the conclusion, or really all of this stuff with Zillard and the elixir of immortality.
Oh, by the way, there's an immortality elixir, in case you're not... Shut up, go watch it.
In case you forgot that this isn't a realistic depiction of 1930s gangland violence. And
that elixir is very important.
It can be difficult to keep track of the stuff on either side of the train heist, because like it's easy to know if something's during the train heist because it's on a train.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But before that, it's just like in New York City, and like it didn't change visually between 1930 and 1932.
But even on the train, there's like a million different gears churning in different directions that you're bouncing off of.
There are at least 4 factions on the train. 5. There are 5, I think. Black suits, white suits, bootleggers, Rachel, rail tracer. Cheslaw, 6. Fuck.
Also the hostage, the mayor's, the senator's wife, and the daughter, and like the rail tracer.
I can a rail tracer.
See, there's a lot of shit. Basically, the train, the Flying Pussyfoot, it's a transcontinental train. I don't know where it leaves from. But
Chicago.
It goes to New York. It leaves from Chicago to New York. Jacuzzi and his gang are there because they want to commit some kind of train robbery for, I don't know why.
They're trying to steal a bomb. There's a new kind of bomb on the train. Here's the thing: 3 different factions are trying to perform heists at the same time, and they all get in each other's way. Jacuzzi's gang is trying to steal a new kind of bomb that's on the train. The black suits are trying.
The Lumieres.
The Lumieres are trying to hold the wife and daughter of a very powerful senator hostage in order to negotiate freeing their leader, Huey LaFerre, who to them has like unlocked the secret of immortality, and they hope that by freeing him, they can themselves become immortal. He is immortal. He just doesn't give a shit about them.
Right.
The white suits, who are Lad Russo and his gang, are they there after?
They're just there to fuck shit up.
Were they also there after Jacuzzi, or was that after? Oh yeah, I think they might also. No, that was.
Yeah, I think they might have been after Jacuzzi, but
I'm trying to remember.
Lad really just wanted to have fun.
Okay, here's what it was. Before the train, Isaac and Miria stole a bunch of money from the Russos.
Yeah.
They robbed some guys moving money in New York City. It's just a regular robbery from them because they were like, well, the only good way to steal is to steal from the mafia. And so they stole that, and then so the Russo boss is like, fuck, we need money. And Lad has the idea, it's like, we should rob this train. They've got a bunch of rich fucks on there. We can make some good money. And I get to kill a bunch of people because I love to kill.
Yeah,
and
that's what they're doing.
So that's what they're doing.
Rachel is
an employee of the Daily Days, which is a newspaper in New York City that also functions as an information brokerage, trading in information. And she's there just on a recon to learn stuff.
Yeah, I think she was heading back from some kind of assignment or something.
Cheslaw is on his way from Chicago to New York City to kill Miza, who is a member of the Martillo family and a fellow immortal. And Isaac and Miria are on there as part of a train robbery that they already did before they got on the train, because they're really dumb.
Yeah. And they eat lots and lots of food.
Yeah.
Wearing cowboy costumes. And they make friends with Jacuzzi and their gang.
That's the other way they're like Jesse and James. They always wear a dumb costume when they do a crime.
Yeah.
Just without the cross-dressing.
And they make friends with Ches. They make friends with Ches and the Jacuzzi and his friends.
Yes. And then should we talk about the rail tracer yet?
The rail tracer is a monster that's killing people randomly on the train. And people don't know what the heck it is and what the hell is going on.
The rail tracer is everything anyone who's ever attempted to write a creepypasta wishes their stupid monster was.
That's a really good way to put it.
You're all welcome, and thank you.
And then the stuff after the train focuses on the Genowad family.
It's Eve trying to find her brother Dallas,
who's disappeared, and she deals with information people, a little bit with the Gandor family. Stuff happens. And then there's a little bit of cleanup with the rest of the other characters.
Yeah, and there's stuff immediately after the train with the other characters, and some of that actually happens in the epilogue episodes. Do we want to start talking about factions? Let's start with our favorite faction, the bootleggers.
Yes.
It's the main, 4 of them are on the train. They're the 4 main name characters. We got Jacuzzi, Splot,
Worst name ever for a human
being. Fucking best name ever. It sounds, when I first heard it, I was like, that sounds more like a goal for a vacation than it's someone's name.
It sounds like word salad. It sounds like he threw letters onto a refrigerator and was like, this sounds cool. English.
I looked this up. I was like, were jacuzzis invented in 1930? Yes. Jacuzzi is actually one of those generic trademarks like Xerox and Q-tips. Jacuzzi is a company of Italian hot tubs that was founded in 1915.
So technically his name is Italian.
Yeah, so it's presumably just a name. But from a modern perspective, it's like, your name is Hot Tub Squish.
Oh, no.
And then there's also Niece Holloway, who I believe is...
Hollystone
is the boss of that organization.
No, Jacuzzi's the boss.
Jacuzzi's
I think they're both addressed as boss at different
Yeah, they're
points.
both the bosses.
And then the other two guys on the train are Andre the Giant and Larry Butts.
Their names are, let me see.
Donnie and Nick.
Donnie and Nick. Donnie's the big guy, Nick is the not big guy.
Yeah.
Donnie, I like Donnie.
Here's the other fucking thing. There's this Nick on the train is part of the bootleggers, and then there's a Nicholas in the broker, in one of the information brokers. And I mean...
Well, it's a very common name.
Listen, I've been to elementary school. There's always at least two people named Nicholas.
Also Mike.
Well, I think I have nothing on you, dude.
I've never had that problem. Ha 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 ha. Losers. My name is special.
My name has no traceable etymology.
It's true, it doesn't.
Yeah. Like, mine's Greek. Tuch's is... Your first name is Hebrew. I mean, the name that we're calling you is Italian.
Yeah.
Ducci! So what about the bootleggers?
Part of the frame story is, like, this show has no real main character.
Yeah.
You know, there's the goof that, like, Firo is main character-ish. And he's certainly, I would say, the main character of the pre-train stuff, but he doesn't feature into anything after that. Jacuzzi...
Yeah, I miss Firo. He was cool, too.
Firo's so cool. I love Firo.
Yeah. Jacuzzi, I think, actually has stuff going on before and after the train as well.
Absolutely.
He's a character I'm surprised by how much I liked him.
Yeah, it took me a long time to warm up to that guy.
I immediately fell in love.
On the surface, he's very annoying. He cries at everything. He's quick to panic.
I've never heard such a squeaky,
impotent voice.
Breaking voice.
Hey.
His voice is always cracking. That must have been hard to do.
But, like, not in that goofy way like the teenager from The Simpsons. Like, in a really sincere way that I've actually tried to do in roles that I've auditioned for and not gotten. It's hard, and this person did a good job. And, like, he's a complete coward, but he's such a sincere person, and he's such a giving person. Like he's got this tattoo on the side of his face that everybody says is a sword. I think it barely looks like one, but I guess I can see it. He has that because Niece, the Holloway... I'm going to restate who everybody is every time I bring them up. Niece, the other boss of the Chicago bootlegging operation, is also a bomb maker. And we see, specifically in one of the epilogue episodes, but it's sort of implied from the fact that she's a bomb maker, that she, early on in her life, got caught in an explosion and lost her right eye and got burns over the right side of her face and all over the place of her arms. Apparently the burns weren't too bad because she's still really hot. Because like if you've seen people with who've had really severe burns, like there's a regular customer at my store who's got like a really bad burn on one side of his face and like his nose is kind of crooked and his cheek and the skin is melted down to the cheekbones. It fucks you up. She's still fucking gorgeous. She's just got these splotches.
Yeah, like.
But here we are.
She got exploded in the face. Like.
Yeah.
Not cool.
But here, so as an act of solidarity to the fact that half of her face is now deformed, he got this terrible tattoo so that everybody would be as equally as shocked by his face as by her face. That's incredibly sweet.
He's the cute.
And he did that when he was like 9? How old was he supposed to be?
I don't really. In the train, he was 16.
He was 16. Yeah, so he.
Wait, but didn't they say? Didn't on the train like that guy say they've been dating for 10 years?
Because they've been dating since they were little kids.
They've been an item for 10 years. They haven't been like explicitly dating, but they've always been in love with each other.
And they only just kissed then.
Yeah.
And Nick got mad. Like, what the fuck do you mean that was your first kiss?
This was the first time you laid one on him? That's another good reason for the dub slang.
Is the first time you laid one on you? I've heard of being a gentleman, but this is ridiculous. That guy seriously looks like Larry Butts.
Nina, I believe you asked, for a split second, you asked who voiced Jacuzzi. Jacuzzi's voiced by Joel McDonald.
Yeah, I just found that out.
He's the voice of Meow in Space Dandy.
Whoa!
Yeah, he's an ADR director, and he ADR directed Space Dandy as well. He's great. I love him. Just for these 2 roles.
Yeah.
That I know of. And then Niece is voiced by
Colleen Clinkenbeard.
Yeah. Okay, wait. Colleen Clinkenbeard. Is she like a D&D dwarf?
She's also like a producer, ADR director. Basically, everybody at Funimation voice acting is almost their secondary job. The rest of it is making the actual shit that they voice act.
Which is the best system.
Oh yeah, totally. I think
they know.
But
what they're doing.
her thing, her biggest thing right now probably is she is the Funimation dub voice of Monkey D. Luffy in One Piece, and I love her as that.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Ding dang.
Anything else about the bootleggers?
I mean, Nick and Donnie are fun, but they're primarily pretty minor.
I love that one goof with Nick where he busts into the train. He's like, "Everybody down!" with his knife, and all the guys have fucking machine guns, and he's like, "Oh, sorry for bothering everyone."
Here's the thing that we said. There are 3 heists going on simultaneously, and they all make their move at the exact same time in the exact same car. One of the white suits pulls out 2 pistols, 2 black suits come in with Tommy guns, and then Nick just like, "I've got a knife!" And then he's like, I'm gonna leave.
It really feels like one of those, like, stage comedies where there's, like, 3 different plots, and, like, one character will exit a door immediately as somebody else walks in, and they just have no idea everybody's on the same goddamn stage. And then at the end, shenanigans, except for, in this case, lots of people die.
Well, no, maybe that's Chekhov.
Yeah. Or I was gonna say the first act of a tragedy, because usually those start out comedic, and then...
That's how they get you.
Most of the people that die are kind of bad people, so it's not that worse.
Well, the people who die and don't come back to life.
I think that's less like the bad people die, or it's more like 90% of the people on the screen are bad, so the fact that people are dying is the bad. Some of the bad people are going to get hit too. Just statistics.
I mean, I think that's also a Tarantino thing.
Yeah. Honestly, when I actually watched this, I almost don't want to compare it to Tarantino, because, like, as much as I dig Tarantino's work, I like this a lot more than Tarantino's work.
Yeah, sure. I haven't seen very much of his work.
I've only seen the first 3.
So...
And Jackie Brown is Tarantino doing a movie that he wouldn't do. It's like, I can do more than just my thing. I'm gonna make a regular movie, kind of. I mean, I'm still putting Sam Jackson in it because
if you have the option to put Samuel L. Jackson in something, for the love of God, do.
Also,
and
he'll do it.
Blaxploitation movie too.
And here's the thing: Sam Jackson will do it.
Yeah, he's never been picky about roles ever.
I love him.
And neat. Wait, so that's those guys. They're cute. We like them.
Yeah, I want to give the entire Jacuzzi gang a big smooch.
Yeah, it's their thing is basically them being caught up in. I mean, their heist is comparatively small time. They're caught up in 2 much bigger things, and them trying to get out of there.
Well, they're also trying to protect the people because they realize people are in danger, and Jacuzzi's like, "This is not okay. We didn't want to hurt anybody."
Because they're all fundamentally good people, so they're trying to do the right thing amidst this crazy tragedy that's happening. All very likable. Let's skip to the least likable faction, the white suits. I mean, there are 2 characters of the white suits named in the openings, which are Lad and Lua. I mean, Lad, he just loves killing people, and
he's just the hammiest ham. He eats ham for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
He sounds a little bit like Don John DiMaggio.
Yeah, I was like, I kept getting little DiMaggio flashes, but it ain't. His name's Brian Massey.
He was a newcomer.
Yeah, this is the first thing he ever voiced.
Yeah, very
cool.
Impressive.
Yes,
very impressive. This role is crazy.
Yeah,
and now he voices another important character in One Piece. But for anybody who wants to get into One Piece, I won't say who that character is. It's kind of spoilery, but he's also in One Piece.
All right,
cool.
PM, send Tooch, email Tooch.
Okay.
Call him. His number is 707.
555.
No, it's
555.
It's 407 is your area code.
No.
702.
Fuck it. We're gonna keep guessing.
Sing that one ludicrous song. You'll get it eventually.
Okay, so Lad is the worst human being, but the most fun to watch ever. I love every time he's on screen. I'm just mesmerized. He's so fun. He's, a lot of people have said it, and I'll say it again. He's like the Joker in a lot of ways. He has that charisma, and he's super crazy, but just so fun. I don't know, he has so much fun killing people, you almost have fun watching it, even though it's really scary at the same time.
Yeah, and he's not that complicated. Like, the basic thing is that he loves killing people, and as complicated as it goes, that he loves killing people who think that they're not going to die. His favorite people to kill are the people who never considered that they would be killed by him. Not just killed, but killed by him, because... like, most of the characters in the show, he's also got severe delusions of grandeur.
But he doesn't have any superpowers.
Nope.
Unlike a lot of the other characters in the show. And then Lua...
Lua's weird.
She doesn't do much. She's his fiancée. They're in love, I guess.
I guess there's, like, this weird thing where Lad is like, I'm gonna kill everybody, and you're gonna be the last person I kill, and you're not allowed to be killed by anybody else, because the only way that anybody dies in my world is by being killed, usually by me. And like, she's super passive, and she goes along with it, and she, like, doesn't exhibit any agency and barely speaks. She's very weird. I don't know how to feel about her.
Yeah, I mean...
like, whenever she was around, it was the only time that I really wasn't enjoying Lad being there, because it just made him... It made him creepy in a way that was, like, super...
It wasn't fun anymore.
Yeah, it wasn't fun.
But, it's sort of a perfect match, because, he's a sadist and she's a masochist, so, there you go.
It didn't...
Crazy people. Well,
did it ever go into how they met or anything?
No.
She's just there.
She wants to be killed. She wants to die, but she won't kill herself.
Huh.
We don't know very much about her. I think they elaborate a little bit more on her in the light novels, but probably not too much. Because...
with 21 volumes, they better give me everybody's entire life goddamn story.
Yeah.
The black suits have one character named in the opening who doesn't show up until like halfway through the damn series, which is Shawnee LaFerret. The daughter of Huey LaFerret, the guy that the black suits are trying to free from prison, and she's not totally on board with them. Because she knows that the black suits just want to manipulate Huey, or just they want to benefit from Huey and his immortality, and they want to gain immortality themselves. She's just devoted to her father and wants to protect him. She can't speak, but has like some kind of psychic link with her father. It's never really explained. It's fine.
She, the black suits sort of catch on that she's probably not totally with them. So there's a lot of kind of like double crossing within their own faction, but she comes out of it okay, I guess, as okay as you can be. But yeah, since she doesn't talk, her character, it's sort of hard to get a feel for her, and a lot of this stuff we don't really know that much about her. We learn more about her in the 3 ending epilogue episodes, where we sort of learn a little bit more about her relationship with her dad. And about the way she views herself and the people around her. Very tragic figure, I guess.
Real good with a knife. Like, she can slash shotgun shells out of the air, which isn't really how shotguns work.
Yeah, that confused
me.
I
guess it was firing slugs, but I don't know if they invented slugs yet.
Yeah, well, Graham could catch bullets out of the air with his monkey wrench, so what do you want? Like, it's a cartoon.
Specifically, it's an anime.
Yeah, an anime about romanticized gangster fun times.
Yeah, and like we said, they're trying to ransom the president, the senator's wife and daughter as leverage for their leader. And
the senator himself is kind of shady.
Yeah. I
think he does dealing with criminal organizations as well, and he was also interested in immortality, I think. I don't know.
He was interested in Dallas Genoad, in something that doesn't... I think that's one of the loose ends.
Yeah.
Rachel, working for the information company, is just there to observe, to do recon, but being a fucking person with humanity and sympathy gets caught up and helps to save people aboard the train.
She gets kind of fed up with everything, and she's like, I'm going to do something about it. So she saves more people than anyone else. Way to go, Rachel.
Who else is on the train? We got Cheslaw.
Rail Tracer!
We'll get to the Rail Tracer.
Yeah, we'll save him for last.
Cheslaw is on the train because he actually wants to go where the train is going. He was just hoping to just ride a train for a bit. But...
He's like, I was surprised to find that out, though, because he took everything in a lot of stride, and it made me think he had other shit going on, but no.
He did very early on, because when they're having dinner, and they ask his name, he gives his real name. And this is something established later on in the flashback episode to 1711, that immortals cannot give false names in the presence of other immortals. They have to use their real names. So He was trying to say his fake name. He usually goes by Benjamin. He ended up giving his real one. He's like, there's another immortal in this car. I have to find out who they are, and I have to kill them before they kill me. Immortals can kill each other. We'll get to that.
Will we?
Maybe. So what he's doing on this train, because, I mean, he's already on his way to New York to kill another immortal. Because he doesn't trust him. He's trying to get him out of the way. And we find that out through a thing with the Rail Tracer. We'll get back to that when we talk about the 1711 ship and all the immortals. We'll get back to that. But he's...
Basically, this is gross anime Highlander.
Yes. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I can work with that. So, yeah, he's trying to enlist Lad Russo because he's like, this dumb fuck just loves killing, so maybe I can convince him to kill for me, but that doesn't work because Lad ends up killing Cheslaw. He's like, he didn't think he was gonna die, so I killed him. He comes back to life. That's how it works. He's fine. All the blood goes back in his body, so he's A-okay. And then he gets caught up with the Rail Tracer who... We'll talk about it with the Rail Tracer. Fuck. Okay.
The Rail Tracer!
But anyway, at the end, he's saved by Isaac and Miria and learns a level of compassion that he thought he had lost. Here's the thing. Yeah. Cheslaw, as a body of like an 8-year-old kid, he's 200 years old. Yeah. Which is how they justify the horrific acts of violence that he goes through and suffers. Because it's pretty fucked up.
Well, also that he'll come back.
That, too.
But they do feel pain. That's important to know. Immortals, you can't kill them, but they feel pain.
Like Wolverine.
Yeah, this is just a train full of small, hairy Canadians.
It's closest to Wolverine rules, I would say.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
It's one cell regeneration rule kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, it's not so much regeneration as it is reconstruction.
Yeah, like the cells literally scurry back together as quick as can be instead of growing back.
Yeah, I think the cells just don't die. They're just magnetic, whatever. And then Isaac and Miria are just, I guess, also trying to get by with their stupid fucking ways. They're trying to encourage everybody to be good, and they're dumbasses.
They're having fun until things go awry.
Okay, and now let's talk about the Rail Tracer. The Rail Tracer is brought up in a story that Isaac tells Jacuzzi niece Cheslaw about this monster that follows trains and kills everybody on board. And like there's all these, like you said, creepypasta rules, like if you tell this story on a train, the train will be visited by the Rail Tracer. Creepypasta fucks love that shit.
Yeah.
There's a word for it, I don't care.
They like rules.
They like needlessly complicated rules, and they like stories that are self-executing, I guess, something. It turns out that the Rail Tracer is, because it's really weird, like Isaac tells a ghost story, and Jacuzzi is like, oh fuck, I gotta save everybody from the ghost!
Like Zoinks, niece?
Yeah, no, it really is, like, he believes it so immediately and so fully, and like at no point is Isaac like, oh, it's just a goof, I was goofing you. Like, I guess Isaac believes it. It's hard to really pinpoint. Here's the thing with Isaac and Miria. It's hard.
They're so dumb. It's hard.
Here's the thing.
Tell.
Isaac is constantly lying, and I think he just believes himself because he's that dumb.
I think
Yep.
he does. That's part of the fun.
Everything is like an ancient legend from the Chinese Orient, wherever they always say.
Yeah, I mean, he keeps calling it the Orient, so you know how trustworthy he is. I'm sure it's 1930.
Well, what's the time period?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
it's the 30s.
like my grandpa still says the Oriental, and I'm like, well, you're 90 years old. This is where we are.
The rail tracer.
So the rail tracer, turns out, is real. And, like, this is a thing where, like, the nonlinear stuff comes into effect, because Jacuzzi's like, oh, maybe the conductor can help me. So he's running to the caboose where the conductor is, and when he gets there, both conductors are dead.
Wait, why would the conductors be in the caboose?
Caboose is in the end. They'd be in the front.
No,
Yeah,
that's where the engineers are. The engineers are the guys driving the train. The conductors are managing the passengers and all the train's effects. But they were in the caboose at least. I used to really like trains.
I know. Thomas the
Tank Engine was my jam, and now I watch them like.
Did you ever get that one TV commercial VHS, Lots and Lots of Trains?
No, but I've seen that commercial 100 times.
Who hasn't? Oh my god. But yeah.
I can't believe I remember.
Caboose.
Can't believe. And there are two conductors on the train. He sees 2 dead bodies there. So he's like, oh no, the rail tracer's already here. We've got to protect everybody on the train. And then, like, you see this red monster reaching in through the windows, picking fuckers off. And what we learn is that there are 2 conductors, a young guy and an old guy. The young guy is telling the rail tracer story to the old guy. And in the middle, the old guy's like, your story's fucking stupid. Let me tell you something. And, like, it turns out that he's part of the white suits. Black suits.
Yeah.
I was confused because his suit is white. And, like, this scene, and I think the episode ends with him pointing a gun at the young conductor. And we see that shot replayed a couple of times until we eventually find out that what happened was that the young conductor kicked the gun out of his hand, shot him with it, and then a white suit... The young conductor is the rail tracer. And the way that those 2 bodies got there, one of them is the old conductor that he shot, and then the other one, which Jacuzzi mistook for the other conductor, was a white suit who barged in, who was dressed as a conductor, because he killed the conductor who drove the train into Chicago, who was the young guy. The young guy's name is Claire Stanfield.
He killed Tony.
Yeah, he killed his mentor, Tony, the other conductor. So
Tony was gonna retire, and then he died 5 seconds later.
See, you can do the voice.
Yeah.
Tony.
So what?
Come over here.
Yeah. So what he does is he takes this white suit guy, and he's got him hanging off the back of the train. Is like, tell me what the fuck are you doing on my train, and why did you kill Tony? And the way he tortures him to get him to talk is that he grabs his hand and he grinds it against the ground on a moving train. And it's
The tracks.
Yeah. He just grinds his hand off.
Good Lord.
We see this. There's a lot of hand destruction in this show.
Yes.
This is the most graphic. No. Maybe tied with the most graphic. No. Yeah. I'd say this is the most graphic, and then second is when Ladd gets his hand entirely rope burned off.
Well, he doesn't rope burn it off.
Okay.
And that flippy thing on the side of the train, he, like, tries to stop himself from falling off the train, and he just shoves his arm into it while he's falling into it, and it just crunches all the way up.
Yeah, and that's after he rope burned off his fingers.
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
Fuck.
This guy, this Narita guy, he doesn't like fingers. I don't know why. Maybe it's his Yakuza influence. He's like, everybody's fingers gotta go.
And then after he gets the information, the rail tracer grinds the dude's face on the fucking tracks and then throws him back
But
in.
not completely off. It's just like a flap of face, like, dangling.
Yeah, it's really dark, so it's not that gross, but you know what's going on, motherfucker.
It sounds.
Oh, yeah.
There's so many crunchies.
Like, if you ever had a chicken bone fall into a garbage disposal, not even close. Way, way worse. So he's going through the train, picking off everybody who's
A white suit or a black
white suit or black suit. And
because he has a lot of passion as a conductor, and he likes his passengers, and he doesn't like the idea of these people fucking up his passengers. So he's punishing anybody he sees fit to punish. People who are doing bad things and are harming other people.
Because this guy is another sadist with delusions of grandeur. He loves killing people, and he's of the opinion. He goes on this fucking soliloquy on top of a train, which, that's not a thing. You can't talk up there, dude. Like, this was an episode of Archer. I'm gonna fly on top of the train, and the second he peeks his head over the car, he's like, oh, fuck, dust and wind. I can't breathe or speak.
Literally everybody has entire conversations on this. Like, I think for 2 or 3 solid episodes, a bunch of people are constantly on top of the train talking.
And I'll accept that as an anime thing. Like the same thing, in Attack on Titan, there's that one scene where the general's delivering a speech from the top of the wall, and at the bottom of it should be just what the fuck is he saying?
He shouldn't, his voice shouldn't even, it shouldn't even be light.
He's effectively 300 feet away.
No, they shouldn't even know he's speaking.
No, yeah.
Yeah, but the Rail Tracer, he subscribes to what is called solipsism.
Oh, that, I've heard of that.
From Latin solus, meaning alone, and ipsi, meaning self. It is a philosophical idea that only one's own mind is sure to exist. So he believes, because he can only know himself, he is the only one who truly exists, and everybody else is just a part of his world. Thus, he cannot die, because he is the world.
I mean, I can see why that philosophy would have some legs, but it's shut up, dude.
Well, you don't get to grinding people's arms off the side of a train without some kind of junk.
It just sort of makes him, it sort of gives him that whole, fearless mentality. So he can basically do anything because he believes he can do anything, so he just goes into everything I'm gonna do this thing, and then he just fucking does it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lad really fucking hates him, because he's like, you can't kill me, I can't die. And he's like, I hate people like you, I can't wait to kill you. And he can't kill him because
he's too hard to kill.
Claire is really, really good at it.
He's also a mafia assassin.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a freelance assassin, and his assassin name is Vino, which is Italian for wine, and because he covers himself in blood.
And he ran away to join the circus at some point, so he's super acrobatic and flippy.
You know what he is? You know what he is? You know what he is? He is what would have happened to Dick Grayson had Batman not intervened.
Probably.
Yeah, probably, actually.
That's what he said in Young Justice, why did you take Robin under your wing so he'd end up like you? So that he wouldn't. That's what happened.
He turned into Vino. This is an alternate reality where Dick Grayson becomes Vino.
Dick Grayson becomes basically what Jason Todd is now. This character really confused me at first, or was really interesting to me, because in a show where there are people who literally can't die, you have somebody who just thinks they can't. And for the longest time I was like, is he immortal? No,
he's even he's talking to Chane, and he's like, you can trust me, I don't care, I don't need to become immortal or whatever that is with your dad, because I'll live forever, you can trust me on that one. I don't need no secret to immortality.
The world ends with me.
Yep.
I am all that the world is. And then why exactly was he then tormenting Cheslaw?
Because he overheard Ches making the deal with Lad, where Ches was like, I'll pay you if you kill everyone on this train.
That was it.
And then Claire was like, no, you're not.
So I gotta kill this guy. Oops, can't kill him. Well, I'll just torture him forever. So he bites off his fingers.
Yep.
And then, I guess, guts him and puts him on the bottom of the train because like we said, when, these immortals die, all the blood will go back into their body and their structures will reform. So what he did is he, dumped all his blood off the train and then, put him on the bottom of the train so that the blood just can't get back. It doesn't move that fast. So
oh my god.
So he's just on the bottom of this train, with, maybe a cup and a half of blood in his body, being like, no, I deserve this because I killed one person once who was a terrible person. And I was like, no, dude, you definitely... Do we want to jump back to 1711?
Yeah, we gotta do this. We're
Okay.
running out of time.
All right, the immortality thing happened. There was this boat in 1711 heading from Europe to the New World. And everybody on there...
Filled with a bunch of alchemists.
And they were trying to find the Grand Panacea, which is the Sorcerer's Stone, Philosopher's Stone, whatever. Immortality. It's a live forever juice. and they make a deal with the devil? They summon the devil, and he gives them the juice, and they become immortal.
Yeah, when I was first watching that, I was like, he's okay with this? He's fine? He's like, yeah, just have my juice. And it's like,
because, the devil is like, this is gonna fuck up a lot of shit.
The devil's just kind of an asshole. Like, there are characters in this series way worse than the devil.
Yeah, he's just kind of there. But the trick is, they drink the juice, they don't age, they can't be murdered. But if they want to die, they have to find another one of their immortals, and they put one... If one immortal puts their hand on the forehead of another immortal and thinks that they want to eat, they will suck literally just suck that entire person into their hand and sort of internalize all of their memories and experiences
and knowledge.
And like their knowledge and their ghost.
It's literally a super gross quickening from Highlander.
Yeah. So the secret to the way of how to make this panacea was given to Misa, who, as we mentioned, is now working as part of the Martello family. And this other fuck on there, Zillard, really wants to know how. Even though he's already immortal, he's just like, I want to fucking know. I want to be the smartest guy.
Yeah, because he's like a man of science, and he kind of doesn't believe this shit, so he needs to figure out how it works. So he needs to know what it is.
So he has been... So he picked off a bunch of guys on the boat, and he wants to absorb Misa so he can learn how to do it. And there's a bunch of conflict on there that we're not going to go into. But also, one of the other rules is that by touching somebody with your hand, you can transfer knowledge to them, whatever knowledge you wish. Mm-hmm. And they use that for a Deus Ex Machina at the end, which is, I guess, fine. But after the events on the boat, Cheslaw and... Was that other guy his brother? Or just some guy?
No, he was some guy. I read some background. He was the apprentice of Chez's grandfather who passed away. So he became his guardian.
Okay. So after they got to the New World, this guy was living with Chez, and he tied him to a bed and just killed him in as many ways as he can under the guise of testing the limits of our newfound mortality. In truth...
For like 100 years.
For like an extremely long time. He said dipping him in acid, throwing him in a fireplace, putting hot rods through his eyes. All the really horrific shit done to, let I remind you, the body of an 8-year-old kid.
And at the time when he started, he was still 8 years old.
He was still literally 8 years old. So what this did is and then Chez was eventually able to get through absorb. They call it devouring when you absorb them through your hand. And he feels really guilty about that, even though he shouldn't. But you can understand a literal century of horrific torture is going to develop some complexes in your fucking brain.
Also, he absorbed that guy's brain into his brain, which can't be fun.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Including all the memories of that guy torturing him.
Yeah, and he learned there was no pursuit of knowledge. He was just another sadistic piece of shit in this show. So Cheslaw is now, he doesn't trust any of these immortals. He's trying to destroy them all. That's why he's going to kill Misa. That's why he's trying to kill the other immortal on the train, which we'll get to that.
Turn out to be 2.
2 people. So the rail tracer, again, also a sadist, just tortures this kid. And at the end, after Miria and Isaac save him, he breaks down because he never really felt that kind of compassion. That's the compassion that a complete stranger would show to save somebody who's basically a complete stranger. Fuck.
Yeah, there's a lot of that in this show of people being surprised by compassion and love. Despite all the incredible violence, there is a lot of love and selfless acts in this show.
Yeah. And now that we've established that, I think we can go back to the pre-trained stuff with Zillard. Because what happens with Zillard is that a guy he knows perfects a replica of the Great Panacea. I guess independently of the knowledge that Misa has.
Because he has half the knowledge, remember?
Yeah, Zillard... Okay, Misa gave half of the knowledge to his brother Greto on the boat.
Zillard absorbed Greto.
So he has enough to make an incomplete product, which is what they call it, which will give you immortality, but you still age. the main conflict of the pre-train stuff is Zillard trying to get his hands on the 2 remaining bottles of the perfected formula, because the rest of it was destroyed in a fire created by 2 dumbasses from the Martello family doing that light your glove on fire trick. Only one guy had a cotton glove on. And this is also where we see a lot of Dallas. Dallas Genoward is just a fucking punk. And he's got a gang of 3 other fucking punks, and they're just walking around New York causing trouble. They find this old man, I think his name was Barnes. He was the guy who made the completed formula, walking out of this building with a box with 2 bottles of wine, and they beat him up and try to take it from him. And really, their story is them continuously getting the shit kicked out of them, being knocked out, and waking up somebody else like they're fucking Call of Duty protagonists. Because first they get beat up by Firo, then they get beat up... No, I don't even remember.
I don't. They really just exist to like.
Yeah, the point is,
I don't know. They
get brought to Zillard's place. He gives them the incomplete formula, makes them immortal. So these fucking assholes are now tearing around, and Zillard's trying to get them to recover the formula. Meanwhile, while Dallas is doing this, he creates a lot of enemies. And you're seeing this while on the other side of the story, you see Eve trying to find Dallas. So we're simultaneously seeing what Dallas did that led to his disappearance, and Eve trying to find out where he's gone. Something that wouldn't work as well told in a linear story. This is where the format really comes to shine.
But like a million other things happen, we can't talk about literally everything that happens in the show.
Yeah, I mean, we're trying to do a Cliff's Notes, I've found.
Yeah.
Point is, okay... All of the Martillo and Gandor family gangsters end up drinking the finished product, which is like, oh, hey, we're gonna live forever, yahoo! Okay, so now we got a bunch of immortal career criminals running around. That's great. That's bad. But, okay, we'll deal with this. And among the people who drank the panacea were Isaac and Miria. That's the people on the train that Cheslaw was trying to find. And then,
so the irony is the persons he wanted to kill were the only people who actually cared about him, and he didn't even know.
And then, he gets off the train, he meets Misa, and he's like, just kill him. You can kill him. Just kill him. And then he's like, no, and then he breaks down. It's like, Misa, I missed you so much. I'm so sorry. Everything. And so he grows as a character. It's cool. It's great. Trying to wrap this shit up.
I was talking about... I thought we said we weren't going to talk about all the things.
We lied.
Okay. One thing I do want to talk about with Dallas is that I feel like more than anybody else in this show, he got the most severe comeuppance, and he was far from the biggest bastard.
No, he was just kind of a prick.
He was kind of a prick, and he was encased in concrete and thrown in the bottom of the Hudson River to continuously drown for eternity.
Well, until he died of old age, right?
Yeah.
Because he drank the incomplete one.
That's right, he drank the incomplete one. So for 30 years or so. I don't know if you still have to eat, actually. The incomplete rules are not super clear. Whatever.
Yeah.
But at the end, it's found out that he is no longer in that barrel of concrete. And there's apparently some kind of government agency who took him to study him. I forget. But it's one of the loose ends that the show says fuck you about.
Yeah, like Lad going to jail and wanting to go to Alcatraz so he can try to kill Huey and lots of stuff. But, if you haven't seen the show and you've listened to everything we've said, you've got a lot of things ruined for you. Why did you do that?
That was a bad idea.
Yeah.
You make bad decisions.
Now, the advantage is that if you do watch it, you'll, know where all the pieces fall and you can follow it better, probably.
I sure hope so.
Unless we said something wrong, which we might have, and if so, we're sorry.
I mean, even if we got all the facts right, I feel like somebody listening to this conversation we've been having with zero context just can't possibly follow it. And so we probably didn't spoil anything, because when they watch it, they might as well have not heard us at all for how much they retain.
You know who I think this episode is for? People who watched it once.
Yep.
I guess that's who this is for.
It's for us.
I guess.
I've watched it twice.
Now I'm having a mini crisis because I'm like, who is going to listen to this dribble?
Okay, so let's get back into analysis.
We're no better than fucking Wikipedia.
Let's get back into analysis. We're louder. Let's get back into analysis, which is what we're supposed to be about. So what I like is that this show takes its nonlinear format and it uses this for its advantage. Like I said with the Dallas thing, it allows all its three main plots to build in synchronicity and climax at the same time. It allows characters to try to discover information that other characters already know, and the audience will be able to not know it themselves. Even if Dallas's fate is kind of spoiled by the fucking opening.
Yeah, but you think that's just abstract.
I guess.
Like, oh, he's drowning, cards.
Yeah, I literally didn't get it until, like, the last episode.
At the point where he's like, oh, he's immortal, I'm like, he's probably drowning somewhere. They probably put him in, like, a water box.
I mean, the show itself, despite its very convoluted format, there's really not that much to it. Like, it's not like the deepest show ever.
Oh, no,
it's pretty superficial. It's really just a lot of fun and a lot of fun characters. The only thing that's difficult about it is the presentation.
Yeah, I mean, sorry to bring up Tarantino again, but like it is a pulp fiction. It's the same thing. It's just it's a gangland violence thing with some supernatural elements shown. It's a fun crime thriller with guys in fun accents, and then the hook is that it's told out of order to keep you on your toes of something which otherwise would be pretty straightforward and I think still fun, still great and good, but less remarkable.
Oh yeah, the stuff I could follow that was non-linear, I was like, it was good reveals when I knew what the hell was supposed to be getting revealed.
The pacing is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Very well done.
Because like, even if you don't know what's going on, the characters will always keep you entertained enough where you won't be like, well, fuck this, I don't know what the fuck's going on, I'll watch something else.
Yeah, it's like, even the first time I watched it, I didn't get that bent out of shape about the format because the first piece of fiction or media that I ever consumed that was in this nonlinear format was the fucking Sound and the Fury. Dude, have you read that?
No.
It's Southern American literature. It's about how trying to reconcile post-Civil War Southern pride. That's the best way to put it.
Right.
Okay.
Who's it written by?
William Faulkner.
Oh.
Yeah. And it's told in 4 parts. Like, they're too long to be chapters, but it's from the perspective of 4 different characters. Here we go. The first part of the book is told from the perspective of a severely developmentally challenged man. He's basically, they say he's got the mind of a 3-year-old. I don't know how like psycho accurate that is, but the point is like this person, his brain is too poorly developed. He doesn't conceive time linearly either. So his whole thing is going through like his life non-linearly, but from the perspective of a very young child who. So so not only is it out of order, it's extremely skewed and extremely warped. So I cut my teeth on that. So I had no problem with fucking BACCANO. That's where I was getting to.
Yeah, BACCANO was one of the animes that I showed to Nicky because he tends to be kind of difficult when finding animes for him to watch because he doesn't like things that are super Japanesey with the humor and the weirdness. So I was like, oh, Nicky really likes gangsters. He'll love this show.
And I did.
And you did, but you didn't want to watch the last 3 episodes.
I forget why.
You're a butt.
That's probably the best explanation. I don't know. I watched episode 14. I just didn't watch 15 and 16 until now. Whatever.
But that scene with Rachel and Claire was so cute. It was so weird. He was eating pasta and being a normal person. You were covered in blood like an episode ago.
Wasn't it literally a day ago for them?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, it
was a day ago.
So like this is a show where here's a hook. If you're trying to get a friend into anime who's like me and they don't like a lot of trappings of traditional anime, and you can hook them with like, hey, you like Tarantino? You'll like this. Or do you like stuff, do you like, gangster flicks? Do you like gratuitous violence? Do you at least like Jesse and James in Pokemon? You'll find something. Because at first I was actually really annoyed with Isaac and Miriam. Like, this is so Japanese. And actually, tonally, it's very different from every other fucking character in this show.
They have to be.
Yeah, they inject
point.
some much needed levity into the whole affair.
Yeah, like, they show people love and kindness, and that saves them.
They're so dumb, though. Holy crap.
I love them so much.
They're amazingly dumb. They're, like, indescribably dumb.
I think that's where we should leave off with BACCANO for now. You know, we absolutely recommend it. Sorry to do 2 shows in a row that you should watch twice, but at least it's for a different reason?